just wanted to make this quick video about a couple of tweets I've seen from this guy here. Now, his name is Martyn Ware, which might not mean a lot to most people watching this, but he's a relatively well-known British musician from the 70s and 80s. He's perhaps most famous for being a founding member of a group called the Human League, which, for those who don't know, was probably considered one of the biggest pop groups of the 70s and maybe even 80s as well. If you still haven't heard of them, you've almost definitely heard of their most famous song, which is, of course, Don't You Want Me? I'm not going to sing it, but I'm sure from that title you know what song I'm talking about, and if not, go and listen to it, because it is an absolute banger. It's a great song. But Martyn Ware actually left the group before the release of Don't You Want Me, and he founded a new group called Heaven 17, and he wrote what was probably their biggest song, which was a song called Temptation. Now, this one isn't as famous as Don't You Want Me, and to be honest, it's not as good, but it still did really well on the charts, here in the UK at least, and I obviously can't play it in this video, but you should definitely go and listen to it, because it's this song that it seems Rockstar wanted to use for GTA 6, and if you go and listen to it, you can definitely imagine, it's a song from the 80s, you can imagine it driving through Vice City in a old Lamborghini and blasting this out on the radio. It very much fits the vibe, or at least the Vice City vibe, but it will not feature in GTA 6, at least at the moment it's not going to feature in GTA 6, because Martyn Ware believes he wasn't offered enough money for the rights to use it. Now, as I say, he set this out in a couple of tweets, saying, "I was recently contacted by my publishers on behalf of Rockstar Games regarding the possibility of using Temptation on the new Grand Theft Auto 6. Naturally excited about the immense wealth that was about to head my way, I scrolled to the bottom of the email regarding the offer. It was $7,500 for a buyout of any future royalties from the game forever. To put this into context, Grand Theft Auto 6 grossed, wait for it, 8.6 billion. But think of the exposure. Now, I don't really know what he means by GTA 6 grossed 8.6 billion, because obviously it's not out yet. I think he might be talking about GTA 5. But clearly he's very angry that Rockstar has offered him what he sees as a kind of paltry $7,500 for basically eternal rights to the song Temptation for GTA 6. Now, there are a lot of contrasting responses to this. Some people say he should have taken any money he was offered, really, because using Temptation in GTA 6 would kind of give massive exposure to his band and that song, although clearly by this tweet he doesn't care about exposure at all. But others have pointed out, said that Rockstar is trying to rip him off. Now, I'm not going to say too much about this because, to be honest, I don't know much at all about music rights, and I don't know what these sorts of deals usually go for. However, it does seem to me that $7,500 for forever rights and no future royalties does seem like a bit of a lowball offer, just from, my very uneducated point of view and inexperienced point of view. I'm assuming that Temptation, if it were in the game, would be a song on one of the in-game radio stations, and I don't know how much Rockstar have paid previously for these songs that were used on radio stations, but I did actually read somewhere that these rights deals tended to last around 10 years, and that's why some of the songs that were on the radio station when GTA 5 first came out, we no longer hear. But obviously, in this case, it seems that Rockstar are trying to buy the rights to use this song in the game, in GTA 6, forever. I don't know if that's just this song, or I assume it'll be other songs, maybe all the songs, all the musicians they're approaching in terms of using their songs in the radio stations. But, I would expect maybe Rockstar's budget when it comes to the radio stations might be relatively small compared with what they might spend on other parts of the game. Obviously, the radio stations are a pretty memorable part of the game. And, we're still hooked on the songs that we heard when GTA 5 first came out, driving through, driving up that highway on the side of the map, or driving through Blaine County, or down, Vinewood Boulevard or whatever. So they want to make sure that, again, they get the right music for it. But maybe, they would spend a bit more money on bigger songs and artists and a bit less on others. And overall, maybe the budget for the radio stations isn't massive when, as I say, compared with other parts of the game, essentially. But the disagreement aside, I think it's still quite interesting that Rockstar are still agreeing deals about what appears to be the music on the radio stations. I don't think this really tells us much about where GTA 6 is development-wise, at which stage it is at. But I'd imagine that this sort of thing is something that would be done fairly late on in development, however, not too late on. So, we're about just over a year away from release, and I've read that other musicians have been speaking about being approached by Rockstar as well earlier this year. So if this process has been going on for a few months and is still going on, that feels probably about right. A year before release. I don't know. Let me know what you think and what you think of this row, and let me know what songs you would like to hear on the radio in GTA 6.